In today's episode, IMG's hope for a London breakthrough. Gale joins new championship club. And former Wakefield Trinity and Hull FC player has been forced to retire. Hello and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony's body, and a VR voice here please. Remember to like and subscribe and also click that notification bell if you like what you are seeing and want to hear more.
Please forgive me, I'm trying to save my voice as much as I can, as I sound like I've been eating gravel and a bag full of nails, so I apologise in advance. Anyway, where do we start today? Well, it's that news that London Broncos, our London Scholars, are in the forefront of the minds of IMG as they are looking to break into that London market and make it a sustainable rugby league town. They have a reason why, too.
Founder members of Super League in 1996, there's perhaps a sense of déjà vu hearing IMG's comments about the importance of London for rugby league. After all, we've been here before. The Broncos have had 20 seasons in Super League since its inception, and were unfortunate in their last, back in 2019, to be relegated at the first time of asking. Their nomadic existence has been a significant downfall when it comes to progress, while the culling of rugby league development budgets in the south was harmful. But with a promising new base at Wimbledon's Cherry Red Records Stadium, and the backing of sporting strategists IMG, can rugby league finally crack its 40-year expansion challenge and create a thriving club in the capital? The advent of Super League should have been the start of a new horizon for rugby league in both hemispheres. Having been formed in 1980 as Fulham, in 1994 London Crusaders were rebranded as London Broncos after being taken over by Australian club Brisbane. That got them the nod for the first Super League season in 1996, alongside Paris, as a key commercial component to create a national profile for the competition. It started promisingly, with increased attendances playing out of Charlton Athletics' ground, the Valley. What was a sign of things to come, they moved, after one season, to the Stoop. On the pitch though, things couldn't have gone much better. In 1997, the second season of Super League, they finished second behind Bradford with a team featuring the likes of Sean Edwards, Martin Offiah and Harry Mattison. Richard Branson and Virgin had been involved from the outset, and the highlight came when they reached the Challenge Cup final at Wembley in 1999. When he took on his majority shareholding, Branson said, "I've enjoyed it enormously, but I still feel that rugby league in this country is underdeveloped, especially in London." But Branson's interest waned, and by 2002, current owner David Hughes had purchased the majority shareholding. By this time, the Broncos had returned for a brief spell at the Valley, but were now headed to Brentford's Griffin Park. Hughes has done his best for the club, but their ever more increasing status as another rugby league nomadic club was happening before our eyes, with success becoming harder and harder on the pitch, which was followed by less and less fans in attendance. So what have IMG envisioned for a London entity? Well, as part of their 12-year deal to reimagine rugby league, IMG have highlighted London as a key area of focus, with IMG's Vice President of Sports Management, Matt Dwyer, saying, "The thing that surprised us when we looked at the data, participation, interest and a few other metrics, was that London was at the top. We're all sitting there thinking, there's a sleeping giant here. The demographic is very positive, but we're going to need a club that's competitive. We have two clubs there now and we are keen to work with them in terms of growing the game. How do we tap into the participation and the interest we know exists in that city? The next step is revisiting the past. There's a real focus to understand why it hasn't worked before. It's a long-term project. We're not going to be able to click our fingers and 20,000 will turn up to watch the Broncos. But it's got the right foundations."
There is a lot to say about London clubs, why they haven't been successful with these demographics and numbers that keep being posted reviews of the product, participation in the sport, etc. We'll have to see what comes of it. IMG have certainly got a plan, and we do have the data of what has worked and what's not worked in rugby league in London previously. I think the case of it all is just one thing: money.
Former England half-back Luke Gale has joined Championship club Keighley Cougars for 2023 after leaving Hull FC at the end of last season. The 2017 Man of Steel, 34, was a World Cup finalist and Grand Finalist with Castleford that same season, and also won the Challenge Cup at Leeds in 2020. Gale has played 345 career games for 6 clubs, having made his first-grade debut at Doncaster in 2007. Despite being linked with moves to Super League outfits and fellow clubs within the Championship, the ambition and drive of the Cougars following promotion to the second tier helped attract the halfback. And ahead of joining his teammates for training for the first time, Luke is looking forward to life as a Cougar. Demo. "I feel that this will be a great fit for me," admitted Gale. "I want to come here to Keighley and help these lads compete within the Championship, and with the squad we have got, we will definitely be pushing at the right end of the table. Things have been a bit different for me this season, as it is the first team that I have ever gone into a pre-season without a deal at a club. I made the decision to train by myself and give myself a couple months out of rugby league after playing and training for 14 straight seasons. I have been training at Driven Athlete with Chris Black, and as a result have bumped into Reese Lovegrove quite often. When I've spoken to Chris, as I know Blackie quite well, he told me that I would really enjoy myself if I signed for Keighley. I've met and spoken with Reese a few times now, and he is one of the best young coaches within the game right now, and we just clicked straight away. And that came off the back of last season, which for me wasn't a good year both personally and from a team point of view. But I am in a different stage of my career now and not getting any younger. I began my career at this level of the game with Doncaster and feel that I have now come full circle, and I can't wait to see what the Championship brings this season, as there isn't one standout team and it will be a tough league." An England international, Challenge Cup winner, and Man of Steel, during his illustrious career, Luke will bring a whole host of top-level ability and experience to an already talented dressing room. Produced by the famed Leeds Rhinos Academy, it was a loan spell at Doncaster which allowed the half-back to make his name, helping the Dons to promotion through the League One playoffs in 2008. His form would also see him win the Divisional Young Player of the Year award and earn a move to the London Broncos. Establishing himself as one of Super League's up-and-coming halves, Gale would earn international recognition with the England Knights before making the move back north to sign with the Bradford Bulls. During his 3 years at Odsal, he would star for the club as financial issues off the field forced them into administration and eventually relegation out of the Super League. However, his performances earned a move to the Castleford Tigers, where Luke would establish himself as the leading half-back in the competition. A record-breaking 3 Albert Goldthorpe medals and a Man of Steel triumph in 2017 would also earn further international recognition with the England national team. The 2017 season was a particularly memorable season, saw Gale play an integral role in the league leaders' Shield winning side, which was topped off with his memorable Golden Point winning drop goal in the playoff semi-final against St Helens just a fortnight removed from an emergency appendectomy operation. To follow came heartbreak in the grand final, a World Cup final both that year, and he left CAS in 2020 to return to Leeds for 2 years with a Challenge Cup final win in 2020, stepping up when it mattered to kick the winning drop goal against the Salford Red Devils at Wembley, before leaving for Hull FC in 2022. A good signing for the Cougars, and will be leaned on to lead the club to even more glory for the only 2022 invincible, unbeaten league side in the pro game. And finally, for today's episode, 2-time Challenge Cup winner Chris Green has been forced to retire following a botched surgery on a broken arm. The 33-year-old joined Leigh Centurions, now Leigh Leopards, ahead of the 2022 championship season as the side claimed promotion to Super League. The 32-year-old made his name with Hull FC as he made his debut with the club in 2011 and played in the 2016 and 2017 Challenge Cup final wins for the Black and Whites. He also scored a memorable match-winning try at Magic Weekend in 2013 as he dotted down in the 79th minute to give FC the victory over their local rivals Hull Kingston Rovers. He joined Wakefield Trinity in 2020 but left the club after 2 seasons before joining Leigh. In August, Green confirmed his season had been brought to a premature end after he required surgery on his arm. Green broke his arm in Leigh's second game of the season against Featherstone Rovers but suffered 2 infections, with both of those hospitalizing the forward. Now he has revealed he has been forced to retire and felt he still had a few more seasons in him before hanging up his boots. The ex-Hull prop has endured a nightmare year after suffering a broken right arm playing for Leigh in February. Complications escalated with infections and a blood clot which led to lengthy stints in hospital. Green needed 4 operations but has now accepted defeat and realized aged just 32 he won't be able to carry on playing. It was a relatively simple broken arm which just required a plate and screws. So for it to be so far off and to develop all these problems, it's hard to take. I'd have liked to have played another 2 or 3 years but that's been taken away from me. He told the Daily Mirror, "I've had more than 10 surgeries over my career and always bounced back relatively simply. But this botched one led to a horror story. It's not the way I wanted to go out but I've come to terms with it." And after the surgery was redone, the luckless forward was hospitalized for a fortnight with another infection. He recalled, "It was pretty serious. I was told I could possibly lose my arm unless the infection cleared up. It was gruesome. I was then at home on antibiotics with an IV line in my arm, a nurse coming out every day, and then unfortunately I got a serious blood clot. On the back of that, it was one thing after another all, effectively, from a simple broken arm. Maybe it was my body saying it had had enough trauma. It was a tough period in my life. I've a young family with 2 kids and there was a lot of pressure put on my wife. I couldn't use my arm and was coming out of contract so I was massively compromised. I lost the feeling in my fingers and hand as well which is still yet to fully come back so it's been pretty nasty." Green, who played almost 150 games for his home city Hull, is thankful he took out career-ending insurance 5 years ago to give himself a bit of a buffer. But he added, "My health is the most important thing now. I'm on blood thinners to treat the blood clot and that could be for the rest of my life so I'm just concentrating on getting my health right. I know I can look back with enormous pride and satisfaction on my career. Yes, this year's not gone the way I wanted to and I have to think about other things now." And that is it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen, so thank you for watching The Mute. His voice will return soon so he can do this instead of me. It's too much like hard work. But anyway, please remember to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell for any new episodes coming in the next few days. And also the comment section is open so please be respectful and tell him this new voice guy needs a pay packet. Oh. Looks like I am being fired anyway. His voice will come back to full health soon so please wish him well. Anyway, share this video worldwide, and as he always says, I wish you all the best. To please stay safe and see you next time. Okay, I got that part wrong. Bye.